Check, check. 1 minute. I'm going to make myself comfortable for at least 45 seconds and then I'll stand up and start the show. Thank you all for coming, and I'll get to that later. All right. Welcome everyone to the PreBit Tampere, which is part of the National Bit One student game competition. My name is Pyri Takkunen. I'll be your host for tonight, and without further ado, you can, as you probably already saw from the video clips edited together by some of our students, Ahlman Edu, the place we are at, is a vocational college slash vocational institute offering all kinds of game development degrees and liberal college programs. And well, the reason why you should really know about us is that in addition to all that game dev hassle, we also have a mansion and an actual ranch with live cows and an apple tree garden, like straight out of Animal Crossing or Stardew Valley. So if you've considered applying to some of our great game development programs, do that. Thank you. Well, yeah. As all that advertising aside, we're here to not talk about me or the great AhlmanEdu Institute. We're here to look at games. We're here to experience games as the student developers have created these fine experiences for us. And before we get to that part, before we get to the whole main course of the program, the pitches, we have a jury of 4 fine people here who I'll let introduce themselves next. So without further ado, here's the jury.
Hi everyone, I'm Sandra. I am a game engine developer at 10 tons, been doing that for 10 years. Playing games, programming, especially graphics programming, are my passions.
Right, hello everyone, nice to meet you. It's fun to be here. I'm Matti Männistö and I'm an IT recruitment consultant actually. And basically more or less why I'm here, I love video games and everything in it. Also the programming side, but I'm a very junior, so to say. So I only do modifications and so on, but yeah, it's going to be fun.
Hey, I'm Tony Schilberg. I'm from Hologram Monster and I do creative direction and also business side of things there. And I've been working in games since 2012 professionally, so it's been a while. And I've worked in several different companies along the way, most notably in Colossal Order with City Skylines. And yeah.
Hi, last but hopefully not the least, I'm Joni Lappalainen. I'm the CEO of Dreamloop Games, working on PC and console titles since 2015. Beside that, I also run the Finnish Game Incubator, which is probably very interesting for all of the pitching teams to talk later as well. And currently the chairperson of the Finnish Game Developers Association. So in a lot of ways, I've seen everyone in this industry so far who reside here in Finland, and hopefully all the teams that are taking part today in this competition will be part of that industry moving forward.
All right, so these 4 games industry veterans will be judging the following teams and deciding which one of them will advance to the Bit 1 student game competition finals, which will be held in Helsinki on the 2nd of April. But I guess without further ado, next up we'll have the pitches from the 3 competing teams, starting with a local team from right here in Ahlman. Can't remember your team name right now. It was Serial Scientists with Unspilled Milk. Trailer.
So, hello, my name is Matthias, and I'm here to tell you of our game Unspilled Milk. How many excuses will you find to avoid reality, or will you stick to the truth, no matter what? So you might have gotten some idea from the trailer. This is a 2D point-and-click game with plenty of mystery elements. The game is story-driven. Immerse yourself in the shoes of the main character, who finds themselves in a bit tragic position. And it's up to the player to solve the mystery and get the best possible outcome. And you can do this by exploring the environment, collecting clues, and solving puzzles. At the same time, when someone or something questions your every decision. And then try again, when or if the outcome was not your bowl of cereal. So who is this game for? For people who enjoy bit abstract games with slightly intense and unsettling atmosphere. For people who enjoy short but thought-invoking games where the choices actually matter. And age group over 13. Similar games. Milk inside a bag of milk is a game where the main character struggles with everyday life and decisions. Frambow. It's a game where the main character witnesses something horrible and has to cope with reality after that. Both games have managed to capture the hearts of many fans. Plans for the future. If our game gets wind under its wings and explodes in popularity, we are planning on adding extra content and then release it on Steam. And lastly, here is our team. We each spent around 80 hours making the game. So, are you ready to solve the mystery that might as well lie deep within yourself? Thank you for your attention. My name is Matthias. Any questions?
All right, thank you for the presentation. First and foremost, I made myself a note here that no clear target audience, but then you went to the next slide and you actually had some other games that you were using as reference, which is good, and that you were also showcasing that there are a good amount of reviews on Steam. Of course, there can be tools that allows you to get more information on those games as well, but for this reason it was good to showcase that there is an audience for this one. Question is, what was the how would I say, what is the underlying one reason a person would get to buy this game? What is the thing that lures them in your opinion?
I think the premise is very abstract and very thought-invoking. So people might get interested just from the trailer. And when they are playing it, they might want to continue playing it to get the ending or endings.
Thank you for the presentation. How long is the game currently?
Well, it's around 10 to 20 minutes, but there is many endings, so you can retry it many times to get all of them.
Right. Yeah, I think the game itself sounds very niche, so for a smaller group of people, but with unique enough graphics, I think it could inspire very much interest. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Right, thanks again for the presentation. It was very interesting. So my original 2 questions already got answered in here and asked already. So, right, so I decided I'm going to ask you a few questions later on when I'm testing the game. Thank you.
Thanks for the presentation. No questions at the moment.
Sure. Any Anything else? Okay, no.
All right. Thank you, serial scientists. Now on to the next team and the next game. It's Vajaa with Rat's Crew. Roll the trailer.
Okay, hey everyone. So in our game, Rat's Crew, you are a mortal joining a damned game of Rat's Crew hosted by the god of death. Your objective is to win without dying on the way. And our game is for casual horror fans who like card games or enjoy the aesthetic. And for now, our game is for PC. So for the objective and mechanics, your goal is to be the last one standing and win all the cards from your opponents. Our simple controls allow the player to focus on reaction time and attentiveness. While you win the levels, you are going to unlock increasingly challenging levels with new rules, more players, and new monsters.
All right, so here's kind of a game loop flowchart for the basic game loop, where the first player starts their turn, plays a card, and after that there's a small window to slap the card, and if someone slaps the card, we check if the slap was valid, so which is different kinds of rules like a 10 or a double, and so on. And if it was valid, then the slapper will get all the cards in the middle, because the point is to get all the cards. And the turn order changes to start from that slapper then. And then they start their turn and play a card, and if no one slaps, it just goes on. And if you slap and the slap isn't valid, you have to pay a penalty of 1 card to each player still in the game. And this is a part of the basic game loop, but I just couldn't figure out a way to fit it into the first game loop chart. But the face card rule is kind of a king of the hill kind of rule. So you become the king of the hill if you play a face card, and the next player has to try to play another face card for 1 to 4 turns. And if they fail to do so, the previous face card player gets all the cards in the middle. And yeah.
So currently we have tutorial and 3 levels plus 6 monsters. And unlocking data entries of the monsters by playing those levels. This game is new and never done before take on classic childhood card game, which may for many be a foreign one. And this game is low poly retro graphics in a crunchy horror style, detailed 2D card illustrations, as you can see on the slides. Well, our artists aren't here, but we coders are, and thank you for your time.
All right. Thank you for the presentation. I can see a very good build up upon the Balatro buckshot roulette trend that has gone pretty well in the gaming sphere, especially with the content creators, which for this one looks like a very good way to go about as well. So on that side, I really like the premise. And only thing is, I was not a huge fan that the cards were somewhat, at least on the trailer, somewhat unreadable for me to clearly see early on, like what card is on the table. That might help with time with the game, so it might just be a Persona 5 problem, that it first looks quite unclear. But the clear game loop was really good. But my question was kind of like, how much, if you need to win all your 3 opponents, how much an average match lasts?
Well, there's a lot of random factors to it, but I believe it's around 3 to 5 minutes.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Yes, thank you for the presentation. And yeah, there's been quite a lot of popular games with this kind of setup where you sit around the table. And I was thinking, like, how do you think this kind of stands out among the other games?
Well, at least what we researched, this Rats Crew or Läpsy for Finnish players hasn't been done really in at least like this. And the games with the Rats Crew rules haven't really been popular, and I think it's because they haven't really gotten the recognition, but I think that's a standing point for us.
Right. Yeah, I think it might need a bit more, like, more clear presentation on the trailer itself. Like, this is a new game and not something like you've seen before. So, yeah, thank you.
Right, thanks for the presentation. Yeah, I got a similar question to go with first about the same thing, like about the trailer thing. Put the names on it very clearly so we know what kind of game it is, what's the name of it, for example. Because right now I don't have the game name on the paper. I got your crew name, but I missed the game name because I just heard it. So I would like to see that on a trailer, especially if you present them to thousands of people, potentially. But that's a minor thing anyway, you can do that later on. So I was just curious about it said the rules are going to change, or there's going to be different monsters, right? So can you give me a quick rundown, like what kind of ideas do you have in that? Like how are the rules going to change, and what's going to be the spice in the game? What's going to change? I love the idea.
So right now in our 3 levels, the amount of opponents increases every level. And so each level brings a new addition to the rules. So the basic rules stay the same, of course, and the game gets increasingly harder because you get more opponents and more rules to remember.
Right, sounds great. Thank you.
Thanks for the presentation. I also liked the simplicity of the game. You mentioned it's casual horror. Are the only horror elements the opponents and some kind of threat of the player dying if they lose? Are there other horror elements?
For now, yes. We're thinking of adding some kind of maybe power-ups or special effect cards to the game, so that may bring more of the horror side.
Thanks.
Thank you, Vaja. Yeah, so we've actually had a team from AhlmanEdu and a team from the local University of Applied Sciences, Tampere. And next up, we kind of have a hybrid of both, I guess. Yeah, without further ado, the third and final team, Dopp with My Tennis Apocalypse. Welcome to the stage after your trailer.
Hello everyone, my name is Alex and we are Dopp and I will be presenting our game My Tennis Apocalypse. We believe that tennis games have great potential and have been underserved for the past decade, at least on the PC markets. They often manage to capture the wider audience either because they're way too simple or way too difficult and complicated. Our aim is to make a tennis game for the wider audience by still leaning into the simplicity, but making it more spectacle, but also chaotic. And that we are aiming to do by combining tennis with explosions. My Tennis Apocalypse is a roguelike tennis game where instead of a traditional ball, you play with an explosive one. There are no points, and the last one standing wins the match. Having intuitive controls has been very important to us, as we want anyone to be able to just pick up the controller and start playing the game right away. But the thing that actually brings interesting mechanics, depth, variation, and chaos to the game are the randomized power-ups that you get each run. By combining all sorts of active and passive abilities alike, you can put pressure on the opponent in a way that's not quite seen in tennis games before. Essentially, the game flows so that you play these deadly tennis matches, gather power-ups by winning them, go into the overworld area to rest and explore, and then you select your next opponent from a procedurally generated ladder. We hope to appeal to players who enjoy games like Risk of Rain, Hades, and Binding of Isaac on the PC market for their roguelike mechanics, but still might dabble in some sports games like Lethal League or Windjammers with their friends. Yeah. What actually makes a game stand out in this market is that it's a familiar game still packaged in a new form. We haven't seen tennis games, at least on the PC market, that look like this, and because of that we have very few direct competitors. We also are aiming, because it's a tennis game, to make it easier for newer players to just hop right in and start playing the game without worrying too much about the rules. But compared to most direct competitors that are not on the PC market, our price point is reasonably modest. Currently, we're a two-person team working on this game. We have been working on various projects for the past 2 years, so we have built up some experience making this. And we finally decided to make actually something bigger. Firstly, we have Olivia, who is the main artist of the project, but also keeps things in check by being the project manager. And then there is me, Alex. I'm the programmer, but also the animator and the sound guy. Currently, we're in a state with the project where we are experimenting with different power-ups and making sure that each run actually feels different from the last and making more depth into the gameplay. We are planning on launching the game in early 2027, but before that we are participating in some Steam, Next Fest and possibly some demo cycling. That's it, and I thank you for listening, and we're ready for the questions.
Thanks for the presentation. I think the game looks really nice, clean, polished. Especially the music was really Crash Bandicooty. I don't think I have any questions at the moment. Thanks.
Right, thank you for the presentation. And I also do like the vibe in it immediately. There's some catchy tunes, tennis, everyone knows what's tennis, even though they don't play it. And when you mentioned that it's like a niche thing, the tennis, but it can still be a fun game. For example, there has been some games in the past, like from Nintendo GameCube 20 years ago or so, there was some kind of Mario Konami related game that was quite fun, and I played that. So it gave me that kind of flashback immediately. And the explosions is like a nice touch. So, and you got very good like business plan, everything is clear, it seems to you like it's going to be next year, and why not? Perfectly good. So just like previously, I don't think I have anything right now. I can ask you some questions later on, but it looks very good.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah, thanks for the presentation. And yeah, I agree, the game looks great. The gameplay hook was very clear from the get-go, and not sure if I agree with the audience you had there, but I think it does have an audience for it, certainly. And yeah, I think I'd like to play this myself. So yeah, no questions, but thank you.
Thank you. For someone who liked to play Anna Kournikova tennis back in PlayStation 1 in the late 90s, this reminds me a lot of that brought to kind of like a more modern times with the roguelite elements of it. The biggest question, of course, these kind of games of kind of like a roguelite progression and replayability is, of course, the length of the matches. So similarly as to the previous team, like what are you kind of like expecting the length of a match to last in minutes, but also in terms of explosions?
In terms of explosions, well, in minutes, one match lasts around 5 to 8 minutes. So that greatly depends on actually how well you manage to play the game and how well the opponent hits the ball back. Explosions-wise, there can be anything ranging from 5 to, let's say, 30 explosions, possibly. There is a great variation just because it's like, yeah, tennis can take a lot of time to play.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, I actually have a question. Have you thought about having like 4-player tennis there as well? Like,
yes.
Yeah, great.
We have had a lot of talk about like adding, because it's a tennis game, it can just, if it's only a tennis game, it can get quite stale. So we are kind of keeping in mind always just adding more players and making multiplayer, like local multiplayer, not global multiplayer as of yet. But yeah, just adding different types of player accounts and stuff will definitely add variety into the gameplay.
Yeah.
That actually brought up another question to my mind that comes in. Will the game always be 1v1, or will there be, for example, some sort of level hazards or poles or anything like that included there as well?
The first floor, which is currently the stage where we're working, we aim to keep it just as a traditional tennis floor, but we will be adding more stage hazards like a train going down the middle, or like tornado stuff and raising platforms, or like a water level where there are platforms moving. So we're definitely spicing it up because that is the easiest way to increase the difficulty kind of gradually.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so that was the full lineup of this year's contestants. And next up we have the game testing machines at the back of this room. And the jury and the audience are free to go and test the games. And well, if a jury member wants to get there, please please give them a space, because they're on the clock technically. But anyways, that'll be, I guess, about an hour, and then we'll have a small fireside chat here on the stage when the jury finally kind of slithers away back to their chambers, and you know, they get to decide who the winning team is. And after the fireside chat, we'll return here for the final announcement. All right. So I guess that's it for this part of the ceremony. On to testing the games. Thank you. we will continue the program shortly with Fireside chat, not with myself, but also with Toikka, once Toikka returns. Yeah. 2:10 is the starting time for the Fireside chat. The people on the internet, on the stream side of things, have been instructed to return at exactly 2:10, so we'll pretend not to already be sitting here for a few seconds. All right, thank you for joining us again. I'm joined here by Tomi Toikka.
Moikka.
Yeah, I guess he'll introduce himself in more detail as we start the conversation. But anyways, this is my first time doing a fireside chat, and I was kind of jealous of all the panelists who had this nice flapboard thing, so I tried to search for the correct term, like panelist flap or whatever, but then I decided just to make my own from a printer instruction manual and a few pieces of paper.
It is beautiful, it is beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. The ingenuity of the Tampere game industry is encapsulated in these little moments where we improvise and, you know, do stuff with our own money instead of other people's money, right?
Yeah, thank you. So what are we doing here, Tomi?
What are we doing here? I think this is supposed to be a fireside chat about, like, you know, talking to people from the game industry, but I think it's like more of stalling for time. The judges are judging over there. They're judging over all of us. It's the judgment day, and I think we could start by me telling a little bit about myself.
Do that. Thank you.
Yeah, there we go. See, I can help Pyro out a little bit. From time to time I do. My name is Tomi Toikka. I've been making games since I was 8 years old. People have called me a little bit insane at times, and you know, that's why my company Catland is coming back. Its tagline is called Embrace Insanity. I have been making a lot of video games, and I will be talking a lot more about what I'm going to be doing next, but for now, I'm back. I've been doing a lot of cool stuff. Last time I was making a big game, I was the CEO, creative director, and founder at Makea Games, and oh boy, that was a fun time. We made a Super Moves, World of Parkour game. It was a parkour game, Tony Hawk's Mirror's Edge, as I called it. Before that, I made a bartending game about extremely Forza dwarves drinking. Then I made a game about having to be a super spy, kind of like an Austin Powers thing, with a shrink ray. I've been doing a lot of crazy games, and for some reason, that's been 10 years now. The time really creeps up on you in many ways, but a delightful throwback to a better time would be to say, I just love video games so much, and I never stopped. I just think the best medium for making anything is video games. I'm fairly young, so I can say with a bold claim, I'll probably be doing this for a long time before I get, you know, burned out. But, you know, it's a fireside chat, so I can just a little bit roast myself on an open fire there.
Yeah, and I think one of the most differentiating factors between you and many other indie game developers is that you've gotten someone else's money to make your own games, and most of us have not. So can you tell me a little bit about what's the secret sauce? How does that magic happen? How have you risen from the humble Kontula / Humpila beginnings and raised like 3 million euros total?
3.2.
All right,
but yes.
yeah.
Yeah, I can tell you a little bit about that. I'm a storyteller by nature. When I come here, it's like coming home to my living room. A lot of you people would like, you know, throw up or make a little bit of a suplex into the piano over there, maybe faint. I used to be like that. I used to be only on the computer. I didn't want to talk to anybody. I wanted to be an introverted nerd and make my video games. And, you know, I got bullied pretty roughly. It was horrible. And you know, something inside me maybe snapped. It was weird. Suddenly I became this complainer, you could say. I complain about everything, I still do. My ex can tell you anything about that. But the best times about like my life were when I said, no, I don't want to do that. I want to do this. And then it just became this, my very good friend from Lightyear, the CEO there, Kalle Kaivala, said, it's one step from arrogant. It's like you can be an egoist, you can be a little narcissistic, not too much. You can believe in your vision and your story, but you need to do it without compromising or being a, if I can say the word asshole, you cannot be that. You need to be loving what you do, showing off what you love to everybody, and then you need to be yourself. I have never been, and I swear to God, I have tried, and this is why some of my ventures have not been as good as others. I have tried so many times to be a role. I've been trying to be something else that I'm not. But I love video games. I should be making video games. Every time I'm doing like, you know, getting money, a grant application for my game studio, I go like, I should be making video games. It's like that one meme where the cat goes like, I should buy a boat. But my life is that boat. I want that boat. I never stopped, and that's why people want to hedge a bet on me. They want to give me money because I probably do not shut up until I get the money from them. And it's been working so well, and you know, with mixed results. I'm not saying everything was like all like gravy, but with the best like possible outcome, which is more fun video games. And they're positive on Steam. They're very positive on Steam. They're overwhelmingly positive on Steam. That's what I want to keep doing. I don't really care about the money aspect so much, which is a thing that people will clip from now on and tell me, maybe you shouldn't say that on stage, Toika. But I love making video games, and I think good people make good video games, and I'm just trying to be a good person.
Yeah, and well, you've actually never been a game student per se. Like, the Bit 1 is a game student competition, or a student game competition, and I guess from that point we should also reflect on what the role of the Finnish games industry education, game development education is. And I know for a fact, having worked for your companies and at your companies, that you've been one of the beneficiaries of the game dev student ecosystem. So is there something special about going to school for game development? Is that a path that you see that people should follow, and if so, how should they play that time frame in their lives?
I call it weaving. You need to weave it into your life. If this is something you chose to do, you need to do it well. If you are putting time and effort and, God forbid, your student loan money into something, it needs to pay you back. Everything needs to pay you back. So I would treasure something much more like better than even the games. It's the people around you. Because that's how Pyry and me met. I was trying to get to Kajaanin ammattikorkeakoulu, and I had no idea how the entrance exam even went.
There was math.
There was math. I don't do math. I do not do math. You can ask any of my investors about that.
Said the person who gets like 3 million euros.
It doesn't matter about the math. Like, I mean, for God's sake, look at any of these companies and who's running them. Do you know, like, I know for a fact one of them gets tweets like printed out as a fax and then reads them. These are people who are, by the way, rich and wealthy. They do not care about Twitter drama. They make money by not doing anything other than being the fall guy when, like, you know, it hits the fan. But back to your question about like the student path, the people you find here are people who I hope you will make a game studio with one day. The best people around you are the ones that you can trust to do what you want to do. But it's not about that, like, I could say I'm a little bit of a dictator with my vision. I don't want that for people. I want more collaboration and fun people around. You need a vision holder. You need one person who you trust with all your heart to do the hard times, basically, to make the video game and ship it. And the people around should amplify and augment that one person. And I think through that, the warmth radiates to everybody around you, and then you get a great studio. Do you know how you make a great game? You get good people. Again, like a good coder, a good programmer, a good person. Sometimes you need a person who can go on the stage and sing the karaoke and then afterwards get the cool investor money. That's one person. I'm not special in that way. I'm just insane. You can find insane people anywhere. I think they're now, like, I think it's part of some sort of healthcare system that now they're all around us. Like, let's go. Like, we can make any kind of game ever. I know a guy who is doing like, what is it called? Moottorikelkka.
Snowmobile.
The snowmobile game, and that guy just, like, you know, rides snowmobiles, and now they're making a video game, and now they're making money, and now I'm jealous again, and now I want to bring Catland back to make more money. You know how it goes. I think like a good amount of jealousy also plays into this. You need to be jealous. Good students are very jealous of others' success. You need to replicate that. You need to make your own studio. You need to make it better. Especially now in these bad times when nobody's hiring and everybody's fighting and everybody's thinking, oh God, maybe the world's gonna end. Maybe there's a World War III. Don't worry about it. I'll be in the bunker. You can join me. Let's make video games. I have a Steam Deck. I will trade my food rations for a portable battery pack so we can make more video games. I will spin up Godot. I will not care about the nukes flying in. Don't worry about it. The nukes won't fly. I love you guys. Like, you know, you can see it. It's kind of turning into a stand-up comedy bit. They're going like, when is it gonna stop? It's not gonna stop, by the way, until the judges come back. So you'll be here comfortably for another 20 minutes. Have fun with that. Just marinate on the idea, being stuck in the bunker with me, everybody's like crying and me in the corner like, hold on, I'll get it to compile. Why is not ChatGPT working? It's gonna be great.
All right, so there have been some reference to the looming apocalypse already. It's now, regardless of the elephant in the room, the AI one, it's been a trend that making games, getting a game made, is easier than ever. It's also easier than ever for everyone else that you're competing for visibility with. So what's your take on that? What's the path to, you know, standing out in the market where an increasing amount of games is made every year?
That's an excellent question. This is what, by the way, industry analysts who get paid 12,000 euros a year. Did I tell you ever, like I'm a very jealous person. Month, sorry. Yeah. I'm a very jealous person. When I see people with a paycheck that they do not like, you know, appreciate, it's horrible. Anyway, I think if you want to make a game, it needs to have a unique twist. It does not need to go like, okay, here's this video game. Let's call it a kart racer. You're making a kart racer. You go like, damn, like after Crash Team Racing, like, I will come to this market. Mario Kart, whatever. Like, you know, there's always that one tentpole game everybody's like going for, and it's, by the way, Crash Team Racing, not Mario Kart. That's the better one. We will fight about this live on stage, by the way. That's the UFC match. That comes later. But I think if you're looking for a tentpole game to base your game on, you're already doing it kind of wrong. You need to steal their audience, so you need to offer them something more. You need to have a unique twist on things. I don't make normal games. My next game is about It's a shooter, it's a cooperative shooter, it's a friend-swap cooperative shooter, and at this point all the investors are walking out and like they're booing me live on stage. It's horrible and I'm crying a little bit. There's tears, my mustache is getting salty from all the tears. Anyway, what happens is I tell them, oh, actually it's set inside an underwater research laboratory and every bullet hole brings in water. And you're going to drown, and it has dynamic water physics. They walk back in, and they give me so many checks. There's a little curtain that opens, and there's like these dollar bills that like fall from the sky. That's what I want. That's not happening probably, but that's what I'm trying to do, right? So you need to give every kind of game concept you have been here studying for, programming for, learning from. What is the unique angle you're going to tackle and steal their audience? You want to steal those players. You don't want to go there and say, hi, I'm making Mirror's Edge, now I'm making Tony Hawk's Mirror's Edge. Is that enough? It wasn't enough, I tried it. You need to find a really unique angle that really resonates. So you need to play test, you need to iterate, and to stand out, you need to be a little bit crazy. I will not be sure if people will remember the Bit 1 semifinals in Tampere, but oh boy, they will remember when it cancelled Tomi Toikka live on stage.
Yeah, and I guess continuing on that point, when you need to like stand out, you need to make it with fewer resources than those AAA giants who've made the World of Warcrafts and the Crash Team Racings that you're kind of trying to steal the audience of. So maybe it's about learning, knowing how you're gonna keep things simple.
Exactly. And with limited resources as a student group, a little team, just doing your thing, the best thing you can do is be bold. Do something that is really like something that nobody does before. We've seen aesthetics, that's easy to do. I know a person who only does like PlayStation 1 aesthetic games, but now there's a lot of those. Like, how can you stand out from that? Like, maybe it's the particle effects, maybe it's the visuals, but maybe it should be about the core concept. Maybe it's a console. There was this random console, kind of like the Kinect, that outsold Xbox during the holidays. Maybe it's something else. Like, we're seeing so many cool new games, and I love that. I put 110 hours into Mugenics. I love that game. It is horrible, and you should not play it because it's vulgar, and I cannot put it down. Holy shit. I've been doing so much video games that when I play a good video game, I forgot what that looks like. So one of the things to also stand out is to play your competition. Play 5 or 6 good games from around you, and go like, hey, these are pretty great. I could steal that and that and that and make it. This now sounds like I'm stealing a lot. I'm not doing that. I'm saying it inspired by, reflect upon, get amplified by, get the creativity from great masterpieces. You will not have 12 years to make your own Mugenics. Or if you do, let me know. Like, if that's something money that is getting handed out, I want to know. But if you get that kind of time, if you want to like master your craft, you need to look at the market at the certain moment, the games out there, you need to play them, and you need to check what made them so popular, what made them good, why are they selling? Always be selling.
Can we get philosophical for a moment?
Always.
All
With
right.
you, Pyry, anything.
Do you find yourself successful in life?
In life, I would say, I would go to say in career extremely, but it's a path I chose in life. I want more people around me. It's been a little lonely lately. Like, not like, I would say like 3 years or 6 years or something, but over time, you just hunker down on the computer and go like, there got to be more to life. I love dancing, I love singing, I love talking, if you didn't notice yet. I do iskelma karaoke and stuff like that. I would say successful in life is very like, if I saw myself from 10 years ago, he'd slap me on the stage like the Oscars. He'd go like, be happy about this. You're making games, you're making friends, you're being asked to speak at prestigious events. What? This is very prestigious. Look, you dressed up. He's in the Donkey Kong costume. Amazing. Give a round of applause for that. Come on. That's bolder than me. I just got my Catalan hoodie out of the drawer. I had to throw it in the washing machine 3 times because I'm pretty sure somebody was living in it. Anyway, it was probably me from 8 years ago. What I want to say about like being successful in life, don't let your career define you. That's what I've been mostly like upset about, is that there have been so many cool times to just like not make video games for a while. I went to Japan. That's a crazy place. It's like another planet. And I was like, I could like live as a dolphinarium worker. That would be amazing. Like, it doesn't matter what you do if you're happy about it. Have you ever thought about that? Is making video games making you happy, or is looking at Godot making you sad? I have many game engine related limitations I'm not supposed to talk about, but Unity, Unreal, Godot, I'm making a game in all of them. I love all the engines, I hate programming, and I'm sorry to say, and this is horrible to say, I think ChatGPT Codex is a better programmer than me. I think I need to have, like, I need the senior programmer credit to give away. I think I need to pay it like 3,000 a month and give them a salary at this point. It's horrible to say. I have 861 commits to a project I didn't write, and the game plays. What is going on? This happened in like 2 months. We are accelerating towards something that is a little bit dangerous, but you need to make sure at this point that they talk about the permanent underclass. I don't believe in that nonsense. I think you need to make a cool game, and if this helps you make it faster, you should do it.
Yeah. Can you elaborate on what project is currently making you sad?
Okay. So I'm making a game, and this is horrible. I'm so sorry about the topic. It's called Cord Cutter Hybrid Warfare. It is set on, you are driving an oil tanker around the Baltic Sea, the Gulf of Finland to be specific. You have an anchor, and you need to break data cables with the anchor while avoiding the Coast Guard. I would say this will probably get me banned from at least like 14 fundraising events in the future, but this is coming very soon. If Mugenics hadn't released, it would already be released, basically. I'm very lazy. That's another secret, by the way. I'm extremely lazy. Do you know what AI is going to make us do? It's going to make us so lazy. I love being lazy, by the way. I love, like, I can give a little bit of an example about like how that accelerates things. Instead of waiting for my coder to come back and say, like, look, Toika, I'm a little bit burnt out and it's kind of looking a little bit bleak. I don't have to spend the next 9 hours going to karaoke with them, drinking all night, like, you know, partying, and then going like this and this and this. Now, there's an AI agent, we leave at home, both of us, and then we go party. And then the problem is not solved, it's kind of solved, and then we need to solve it together. So it's kind of a bonding moment too. All I'm saying is these new technologies are accelerating things, they're making things easier. It's a scary new world, but if you do not master these tools, yes, you will be left behind because nobody's going to wait for you. I think like that's the biggest thing. I don't want anybody to wait for Cord Cutter Hybrid Warfare, amazing new game coming to Steam soon, hopefully. I want them to wait for the next crazy game from Tomi Toikka. And I'm making a lot of crazy games. Imagine how many AI slop games I can now make. Wow. It's going to be a sloppyverse. Toikka sloppyverse, that's what I'm going to call it. It's amazing. And everybody will want to, of course, buy these games in the millions. You know, I think here's the actual trick. You need to make good games with effort put to them. And the ones who are AI slop, people will be able to kind of smell out and not play and definitely not buy. So stand out from the slop as well as your competitors.
Yeah, I think that's a great way to put it. No matter what, no matter the tool, no matter its technology, you need to make great games. You need to make it worthwhile to yourself and to the players who are drowning in all kinds of playable creativity already. But there's one thing in what you said that I got hung up on. You call it laziness when you spend a lot of time playing video games. And that's not a trick that every game developer can do. It's a thing in us industry people that when we get employed into the industry, when we spend so much time in front of screens, when we invest so much of our time and life into looking at game projects, we tend to kind of decrease the amount of time we actually get to use on playing video games and experiencing not just the competition, but all the interactive culture that is created at speeds that no one can really keep up with.
Exactly.
So yeah. That's actually something that I think you are, if not great, but well, yeah.
Actually, I am great.
Yeah,
sorry.
you are.
My
actually,
ego won't allow that comment.
Yeah. I'm just going to say it. I think you're one of the most game-playing game developers that I have met. So is there something that you would want to talk more about in that?
I play so many games. I have my Forza friends who are a little bit, not saying they're redneck-ish or something. I love them so much. They all have houses, by the way. I'm jealous. Who gets a house in this economy? Wow, amazing. And you know, we play Call of Duty together. I love Warzone. That's an amazing game. That's a little bit of a slow game. I have a secret shame. I have 3,200 hours in Dota 2. I'm an excellent player if it's turbo and I'm sniper or bristleback. And that's my game where I vent out. I yell at people. I'm a horrible person. I've been banned like 3 times. I use that as my outlet. People don't go to therapy nowadays. They go to the Dota 2 public all chat. That's been amazing for me. But Mugenics, a roguelike about like breeding cats together and sending them on little XCOM adventures. Amazing, been loving that. Where do I find the time? Well, technically, it's all about like finding in it yourself that maybe I should be playing something instead of looking at this boring, like, you know, Godot or Unity for a while. Like, maybe it's kind of that outlet. When I skip to the Unreal Engine project, I go like, man, I cannot put Mugenics on because it's gonna crash the engine. I think it's a prioritization. I love video games. I love playing video games. That's why I want to make video games. At this level of nerdery, I think you can go and say, Toika maybe has no life. But then I do have a social life on top of that. It's been a good mix of both. You can do both. But I would say, if I had to choose between making my dream game and playing my dream game, I would all tap to the new game often. That's what I would do. I love doing what I do.
All right. On to a more serious tangent. You mentioned two aspects of your life, both had the word game in them. How has your work-life balance and, you know, all-around health progressed over your career of, I guess, well, your active career of maybe 12-ish years?
I don't know, that's a good question. And you know, I think health statistic is covered somehow by some law somewhere. But let's just go and say I've been very blessed in many ways, getting to do what I do. But work-life balance, I don't know about it. I'm a very workaholic. I love doing what I do a lot. So that means I spend a lot of time on the computer. People have to drag me off. Like, they have to come to my apartment and go like, hi Toika, let's go out. Just you need to get out of there. And you know, I go visit my family. They're in Humpila, amazing people. It's been, how do I say it? It's been a tangent. I haven't been dating lately, if that's what you're like, going for. Like, is there any kind of like, no. I love my video games too much. I'm in this, like, I've built a cocoon out of my like studio. I live there, live and breathe video games. But when I go out, I have a good time. I think I've met a lot of wonderful people, and I think like the best part of it is all the conferences and everybody. I can just like attack people. Like, that sounds horrible, but let me explain. I can attack people with my pitch deck and my materials and my karaoke singing, and just like get them wrapped in a bubble for a little bit. Think about what I'm building, and then I get new employees, then I get investment, then I get everything. I live and breathe this industry. I love this industry. I love talking about myself more than anything, but I also love to highlight like everybody else's achievements. That's why me and Joni back in the day made Tampere Game Hub. That's why we founded the Finnish Game Incubator. That's how I founded the Platform 6 Startup House. We wanted more friends around us doing what we do best, which is, I don't know if we're doing anything the best, but at least we're having a lot of fun doing it around the people we love. And we've been unifying this, I would say, very fragmented, very anxious, very frightened industry, making it together, making it easier to share our hardships and the good times together. That's what I want to do, and that's what I think Igda has been doing great. That's what, like, Pyry, you've been doing great here with the students, and the students, you're doing great. I've seen your stuff, don't worry about it. I've been watching. I think the best part about this industry is that we've been so much more open than we were before. Like 10 years ago, 15 years ago, there were these ideas guys going like, I will not show you anything unless you sign this NDA. I know I was one of those. So I think now everybody's like going like, hi, welcome to our development cycle. Here's a GIF. Here's this. So many cool new games. That's what I want more from the industry. And that's my work-life balance. I think having people around you who love you and love what you do, you are at the pinnacle of your life. When work and life like kind of fade, one of these days I want to start a family. I want to be a normie. That's how I call them. I think like that would be fun one day. But for now, I think I have many, many years of video games. I love making video games. I could do them on the side. Pyry, you have shown family life balance. I am jealous, extremely. I want something like that one day. But for now, I think it's very cool that I could just move to San Francisco, Germany, to start making new video games. I love making video games. And this sounds a little bit full of myself, but I think I could get them funded. I think I could live like that for a while. So having that kind of freedom is also kind of exhilarating. I don't know what I'm going to do next, which is terrifying and really, really promising. You can do anything in this life, and I think mobility is one of the things you lose when you go for the stable things in your life, like a house, a family. I don't think that. I love my work. I want to die by having a heart attack at 167 years old when I forgot to change my cyborg battery in the middle of developing Tap House VR 57. Is that okay? Can I live like that? I don't know.
Yeah, there is this certain energy around you. I'm sure some of the people in the audience already have whiplash from the amount of stuff that you're blurting out.
Thank you for inviting me. It's your fault.
Yeah. No, it's cool. It's a thing that I once again want to latch on to. Is that sort of confidence radiating energy an innate talent or something that you can develop over time?
I think anybody can be like me. I don't think that there's anything special about me. That's something that I want to enable people to do, is like be confident, be publicly speaking, be talking to everybody always. People will find you annoying, but first they laugh at you, they ignore you, they hate you, then you win. Like, why do you care about what other people think of you? I think I'm a little bit of a legend when it comes to this, like just being abrasionally myself. A lot of people have complained. A lot of people have said, Toika, you shouldn't probably be talking about that here and this and this and this. And I love the tone policing. They care so much about me and what I talk about. I love that. There's this popular song, I don't remember how it goes, but I don't care what they say as long as they say it about me. Like, as long as I don't fade into obscurity, I'm like a phantom. Like, the second they stop talking to me, I'm just gonna like fade, like with a shitty Star Wars effect. Like, I'm just gonna like fade away, like Yoda. Like, that's what's gonna happen if I don't do this. Like, I hated that. I hated being in the back of the crowd, like invisible to people, and people looking snottily up their noses at me and going like, Toika, your dreams are dead, video games are dead, everything's horrible. I hated that. So I changed it. I changed myself. I became very open. I tell everybody about my struggles. I'm a foster care kid. I've had a horrible childhood who never anybody should have in their life. And I can tell you now, I'm the happiest I've ever been, and I never trusted anybody who back then told me it's gonna be all right. But hey, what about that? Everything's gonna be all right. That's a sentence, like Hakuna Matata. But it really, everything's gonna be fine. All your hardships and troubles are probably temporary. Tomorrow is a better day. If you live like this and do what you do and do what you love, that is living. If you like bunch up, do not talk to people, you need to be helped. I think everybody should be there to elevate you. Your friends should be there to help you, rescue you from that. I think everybody should be open and loving and caring about everything and everyone around them. And especially video games, which I love. I have so many people who think I'm a total dweeb. And I love it. I love it. They care about that as well. And if people who are worried about me go like, hey, Toika, where's your family, where's your house? And I go like, I got a lot of things going on right now. Let's see about that later. I know a guy who moves to a new country every 2 months. That's a lonely life. I also know a guy who makes video games all day, plays them all the time, goes out on weekends, goes out on the week, and is very happy about where they are. You need to be happy with yourself, and then you can be happy around your life. And I think that is the biggest thing.
Yeah, and enjoy the journey, not just the goals.
Exactly. It's the ride. It's the ride. I don't say any of my games have been so successful so far that I'd be like really here like bragging about it too much. But I love the journey. I love seeing all these new games. I love seeing students showing off their projects. I was there. And it was so hype and it was so frightening. And now it's all so good. It's all so good. You look back with nostalgia goggles and go like, oh no, those people coming to the stage, they're gonna be frightened about going to the stage. They're probably like really have been training and trying and learning, and I love that. That sort of confidence, like coming out. I think like everybody can be just what they want to be. You don't have to be me. Just Understand different people, very different people, and start building people who love around you. You love being around them. And that kind of like lets you be yourself. And I'm so proud of all my friends and family and investors and business friends and everything who have let me finally be myself. That is worth more than any funding round. That is more worth than any game release. You should be making cool stuff, being proud of it, being a good person, and people will just radiate around you.
Yeah. Segueing from that and Yoda fading away, we are both over 30. So what do you want the next generation of game developers to do differently from ours?
I think this is a little bit of a bold statement. You have all the tools now. We had to struggle. We needed to learn 3 years of C# and C++, and maybe you have done that, and that's good. Now you know how to master that craft, but we had to start from zero. Nowadays there's ChatGPT. I'm just saying there's a lot of new stuff that you can amplify and boost your work with, and you should be using that. And moral obligations aside, these people have stolen the internet, stolen all our art and all our writing. Unfortunately, in this business, that is very useful. It is soulless, it is heartless, it is wrong, and we should be like, you know, maybe some data centers shouldn't be built at this point, like, you know, with these electricity prices. I have a lot of statements and ideas about that, but I'm not here to make a political statement. If I told you what to do differently, would be take advantage of these tools before they put them behind like a 200 euro paywall and we all like, you know, are like AI overlords are taking over. I want to see people using these technologies for good, and you know, my good is video games. Maybe you have some good aspirations about what this technology provides, but if it makes you better at making video games, then it can't be all bad. Just don't send me any slop pitch decks. I already sent those, so it's fine. I think like, if you are now starting a new game studio, going to work at a game studio, you need to be prepared for the reality of the job market, which is really rough at the moment, but not completely hopeless. I think the best thing you should be doing is just make your games right here, right now, with the people you like, people you love, and afterwards, maybe make a studio together. Maybe just release those games. I've seen so much momentum with that.
Maybe come to the AhlmanEdu one-year programs for game programming or game art, and then move over to the studio program where you get an entrepreneurship degree and get to make a game for a full academic year under the guidance of yours truly.
That sounds amazing. I am very tuned with this message. This is what I wanted to broadcast as well. I think like if you are looking to make yourself a better game developer, now is the best time to make video games. Everybody's like, okay, this is gonna sound horrible, but hear me out. Everybody's laid off. It's horribly bleak outside. Everybody's shut in on their computers looking for what to do. They're probably playing video games. They're probably playing a lot of video games. Those people, those talents are free. That's free talent. You need to talk to these people who have been working at Remedy and Housemarque and big studios. And steal them.
Those two haven't shut down yet.
No, they haven't. But I'm telling them, maybe they got bored with Remedy or Housemarque. Maybe they get bored with the big game studios. Maybe they're from a closed down startup like Makia Games, and they're looking for work. But you can bring your excellent game there, show it off, and go like, hey, would you like to help with this? And that might be the way to go. Like, imagine fusing that industry talent that we have had for years, the amazing strength of teams like Supercell and these startups that like for years and years, like Red Hill Games, for example, have been like staples of like mastering the Unreal Engine. Imagine getting a technical animator from that team to your game. You can just talk to, you can just do things. You can talk to people, you can start working it out, you can make a founder's agreement, you can make no agreement at all, but I don't recommend that. You can do anything you want. Just do it good. Make a great looking game. People will radiate around you. I think there's going to be publishers interested, investors interested. You can do like a fusion of old and new. I think new students today, you are overprivileged in this. You are already making games. A lot of these people just like went out of the industry, and we need to just get them back. I think more friends for me to sing Iskelmä 2. That's my goal in life and in the games. Yes.
Yeah. Well, it's a good point that there are a lot of very passionate people who still want to make games. They might not have the kind of employment status that would allow them to like work on them full time or anything, but a lot of very passionate, talented people are out there and willing to make that next interesting project, possibly with you, if you kind of know how to
Exactly.
know how to kind of communicate your ideas and ambitions over to them.
I'll just tackle on that. How do you communicate that? Like, let's say you are kind of frightened about a X-Remedy programmer and showing your game for the first time. Do you know what you do? You do what you do on the stage there. You show a trailer. You just show some screenshots. That's how I make my money. That's how you can make your money. I'm not doing anything special. Nobody's doing. We're boasting about something we've built until somebody goes like, oh, this is pretty cool. Can I join you? Can I work for you? Can I fund you? Can I like hire you? That's all it is. People need to be presenting things. Like, just show off your pitch deck, show off your video trailer, just show off a playable build of your game on your Steam Deck. That's what I love to do. That always gets everybody going. Like, you just play it in front of them. Just right over there. There's these demo stations for games. What you want to do is always be showing what you're building, and then people can be like, oh, now I know about this. It's not a closely guarded secret. It should be like an open invitation. Like, it should be more of a thing where you look at it and you go like, wow, this is pretty cool. That's all you want. That's how I raise money. That's how people get like people to their team. And you know, that's kind of like how I coast through life. I do cool projects, and if they're not cool enough, I go back to my bunker, to my cocoon, and like emerge out and show a new cool thing. If it wasn't cool enough, if I didn't get money enough. That's basically what I do. There's nothing different with that. Anybody can do this. This is not a learned skill. It is something I did with shaky hands. Like, look at this cool thing. And it worked. And I've been doing that for 10 years. This could be you. But not the mustache. Do not steal the mustache. The mustache is too cool.
Yeah, one thing that I want to point out from your methodology is that it's a quantitative method. You have talked to numerous people. You have gotten tons of rejections, and that's part of the game.
Yep. That's
elaborate on that.
Yeah, I will go that. So I love getting rejected. That tells me something is wrong. A lot of people do not respond to you if it's material that wasn't quite there yet. Let's say you have a build of a game, but it was a little buggy. Maybe the screenshot showed a little clipping. Maybe something was just not resonating with that. And when they tell you that's the best thing, that's a hard no. You never want a soft no or somebody to not respond to you. You need to get good at like receiving rejection. I have had trouble with this. I have such a backbone that it won't bend. When people tell me something I do is bad or not good, I kind of get upset about it. But I get over it within 8 minutes. I will come back to the situation, reassess this and go like, okay, maybe I'm not the indie guru I thought I was. Like, you need to have humility. You need to have things I don't have to also be good at handling rejection. And oh boy, there's a lot of that in the industry. You will get rejected from anything, anywhere. The worst is the events. When you know your friends are partying at like slush side event, you weren't invited, you kind of start hating people and want to throw them with things. Don't do that. Just like, you know, go, do very cool, be like, okay, sorry, I was busy at that other event that doesn't exist, sorry. When you're in reality in your hotel room, like pondering your life. That happens from time to time. But the best highs and the highest highs are like, it's right out the corner. Amazing events and galas, getting funded, getting that money to show off on your bank account, which I unfortunately did at one point. I showed them like how much money on my bank account. Oh, good times. There's nowhere near that money in the bank account anymore. I think like it's a culture, it's a fever dream, but anybody can get there. And I think like being proud of what you are and what you're doing is so much a part of it. You need to love yourself and you need to love the industry around you and the people around you.
All right. We're still waiting for the judges to make their decisions.
What is taking? Wow, this has become like a lifeline. Wow, this is like, I could just record this and sell this. Yeah. This is my product now.
But I'm going to advance to a more generic set of questions, which I think actually segue pretty well from what you just said.
Yeah.
You've founded 2 companies.
Yep.
Catland and Makea Games.
And Tampere Game Hub ry.
Well, technically, but that's not a company.
Game studio, yeah.
If you could do things differently for either of those companies, or even both,
yep.
What would be the thing that you would
do differently?
I would have started the actual company part of them really late. So when you're making a cool game and you want to invest into it, you need to have a company, right? But you don't have to form it right away. I could have stalled for so long, saved so much money, gotten a better founding team, gotten like everything better, like if I just had been patient and not been in a blood rush, so to speak. I love my founding teams, but when I say better, at that point, 3 months more, 4 months more development to the first prototype would have meant I have just trained those same people and me. I'm not the best founding team member, unfortunately. 4 months more, like it's 4 months of free training. If I just stalled a little bit more, I would say that was the one lesson. Also, our logo was horrible at Makea. I wanted a better logo, but that's my fault. I drew it. Catland was much of the same. We were so inexperienced. If we just had made more games before we made the actual company, maybe it would have had a more lasting indie studio feel. Now somebody's working at Power, one is working at Ice Flake, I'm doing my thing. I just brought it back because I love the logo. The logo is so good. It's the best logo I've ever made. I lived in Kisama, so it's Catland. Everybody gets it. Nobody gets it. It's amazing. A lot of things that I wanted in life could have been done in a more effective way. But then I'm not sure if the same like fire would have followed me everywhere I go, which is that when I go to my creative like self, I need to hype. I'm the hype master. When I start saying, look, I'm going to do this with or without you, that's usually when the money comes in, right? You cannot wait. But if I just had waited for like, you know, even basic stuff like before I decided on an accounting company, let's just use the old one, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. That makes everything so much smoother when you get there, like when you get that idea that you want to make a video game company. There's a lot of like bureaucracy involved and a lot of speed. And I don't think those ever two match. So that's like what I would do differently is calculated steps. Every step of the way. More team members, maybe from the start. We should be more experienced together. You're getting that experience here. You're a studio student. You can do that. Like, if you are now learning to program, if you're now learning to do art, if you're now learning to do game design and making a studio, you're already more experienced than I ever was. Did you know I never got into this school? I never did. I never got into Ahlman, I never got to Kajani, I never, like, I didn't get to Pro Academia. I never did.
Technically, you did your internship for Forssan ammattiopisto.
Oh yeah, that's Forsa, that's different.
Okay,
so look,
my indie game back in the day, Parcel.
Yeah, exactly. I'm YO Merkonomi.
Right.
That's the thing. So I graduated with 2 laudatur grades from Forssan Yhteislysö, English and Finnish. As I said, I'm very good at speaking and talking. But I think like one of the big things is, I don't know, it was a weird time. I think Forsa exists in a pocket reality from every other place. It felt so small, like a small town. It was kind of a Twin Peaks vibe, if you get what I mean. I love that place with all my heart, and I have definitely never made parody of it in any of my video games, especially there is no such scene where you can blow up Forza with any kind of nuclear device. That has never happened. I will not go into further details, but definitely I have a very curious relationship with my hometown of Forza, Finland. I've lived in Kontula, Humppila, Forza, Joensuu, briefly, with you, making video games. And then I fell upon Tampere and I never left because I love this place. The entire main square is like a Skyrim city. You got everything there, like amazing. I live right next to the every cool hotspot in town. I love my life. I love Tampere the most. That's why I made Tampere Game Hub. That's why I made the Platform 6 startup house with the other founders. I want to base my headquarters here because I think this place speaks to me. It is just right off the way. You don't get the Helsinki rich people. Do you know what is a rich person? Rich person is the one who does the rapukestit, the crab party. That's when you know somebody has too much money. That's my meter. If you do that, I will treat you differently. You are now a rich man. I will ask money from you immediately if you have one of those. Just say.
So if I buy frozen shrimp and kind of technically do a crab party, I have too much money.
At these prices, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Thanks. Anyways, thank you for teeing up the next question, which would have been you having founded Tampere Game Hub and loving Tampere and seeing it as an as a city that can grow as a game development hub, what are the kind of defining factors of Tampere as a game development city here in Finland and, well, I guess internationally, and what are the things that we can improve upon in the future?
I think that's a great question. I think Tampere is better than Helsinki in so many ways. Helsinki is kind of like one of those places, if you want to fade into obscurity with your startup, you can do that anytime. Everything is kind of pay to play. Here in Tampere, you can do the double or triple or 4 times the impact just by existing and saying, I'm a Tampere game studio, because we've got such a strong community here, everybody wants to elevate you. You kind of get your marketing for free. The second thing is like, it's Small Giant. By the way, I'm going to the Small Giant, like, yeah, party on Friday. I think like if you find yourself in a place where you can make more impact by it being, by virtue, a smaller place, you're gonna make a bigger impact. I think this whole ecosystem relies on insane people like me and Pyry and everybody around us to kind of elevate it. Helsinki is very big. Helsinki is where I would base my headquarters when I get too much money. But I would start it somewhere here because I love this place. I love the city. There's so much unique atmosphere. There's so much love for the culture and the arts. There's so many cool things happening. Like, this looks like a sci-fi city. There's suddenly an arena. There's a ratikka. What is going on? In Helsinki, you say something about, like, you know, the road is kind of like, you know, made of stones and whatever, and it's pretty cool and historic and cultural, but you're not going to make your, like, case there. Like, nobody's going to change anything. It's such a staple city. Tampere is in flux. I love that about Tampere. Every other year we go like we have too little budget, then we go like we have too much budget, and suddenly we still get the new hotels and cool stuff coming around. It's like looking at a SimCity city in like double speed. I love the growth. I don't think you can grow in places like Helsinki. I think you can stagnate in places like Helsinki. But argumentally, I could say the same about Turku, so you can, like, you know, crucify me for that sentence. Turku needs insane people too. We need people who elevate others. That's why I made Tampere Game Hub, and that's why I made it in Tampere. Tampere has a lot of insane people.
Yeah. No comment on the city versus city thing, but...
No, that's a can of worms I just opened.
Yeah.
We can just leave it there.
Yeah, sure. But there is a certain thing about the Finnish games industry that it was, especially after Supercell, it kind of drifted into this free-to-play, mobile-focused ecosystem, at least in terms of how people outside of the industry saw it. Yeah. Whereas your typical game development student still isn't a person who has grown up on free-to-play mobile games. Usually, for reasons unknown, the passion to create and design and develop games comes from usually from the PC, console, premium side of things. Yeah. Now, when you start a new company, when you start to make your own games, what's your advice on what sector of the industry you should aim for?
There's a lot of cool stuff, and oh, look, the judges are back. Ooh. But I think, like, if you want to focus on a new company now, I will just repeat what I said. I think you should do PC and console games with a unique twist to them. Like, take the genre, take the formula, mix it up a little bit, make it loving, make it something you love, and make it something beloved. So, play test early, put your game on Steam Next Fest. That's an amazing tool to use to, like, amplify. And the final thing I would say, if you're now looking to make a new game studio, there's no specific genre. I think everybody's doing great stuff. And I think all our, like, judges and jury here as well agree that the more games, the better. So we also want to see, everybody wants to see, everybody try. It's called yrittäminen for a reason. We want to make companies that, like, actually make money, but some of us stumble a little bit along the way. We should still cheer them on. They're still running the same marathon. Everybody's in the same race. I think I want Tampere to succeed. I want the Finnish game development industry to succeed. I think everybody is so loving and so welcome here. Nobody else does it better than Finland. Nobody else does it better than Tampere.
No further questions, Your Honor. Thank you, Tomi,
Thank you so much
for coming here.
All right.
And thus concludes the
fairly long fireside chat. I didn't have the opportunity to measure minutes, but it felt like a long one. But hopefully you got a lot of excitement out of that. But anyways, we are at the end of our ceremony, so now the judges will join me on stage and announce the winner, who will be advancing to the Bit 1 finals, which will be held somewhere in Helsinki on the 2nd of April. Please welcome our judges to the stage. Your Honor, do we have a verdict?
First and foremost, thank you for all the teams taking part to this. The whole judge panel had great time trying out all of the games. We pretty much had good time for all of the games for all of the judges, and the competition was really good. I could say even quite tight between all the three teams. We were having three very different type of games this time around, which is really good. Variety is the spice of life, as they say. And all of the games had their own unique sides that were recognized, that would be pushing them as an indie success. But also all of them had their fair share of issues and problems, which, of course, as we decided that Toni will be the one to mentor the one who we select here to go to the Bit 1 competition. He can work on those areas that we have identified then with the team moving forward.
Should we actually play the trailers for the nominees one more time? Just so the audience remembers what the games were, we're going to play the three trailers for the competing teams and games.
And based on the jury's decision, the winner is My Tennis Apocalypse.
Is there something from the jury that you would like to commend the game for, or do we just hand the mic over to the team so they can they can say their thing?
So the jury really found that the game had a great market potential with its arcade tennis game combined with the roguelite elements. We did notice that some of the power-ups had more funness to it, while some felt a little bit lackluster. But also the whole experience from the starting cinematics to the game hub before the matches, between the matches, all of that was found very well done by the jury. We did recognize some of the slowness, for example, compared to the tutorial, especially understanding what was expected of the player could have highlighted better. And in general, we found that the game has a very unique angle and hence will be garnering a lot of attention, for example, from content creators and players alike.
Yes, well, first of all, thank you. Thank you for everyone who played the game. Thank you for everyone who has been part of this journey that we have been going through. We have been making this game for a bit over a year, and I recognize that's kind of unfair to some people who have been making the game only for 2 months. So yeah, but still, thank you so much, and thank you for the jury for the valuable feedback that we got on making the game. We haven't been too public yet because we kind of also ourselves acknowledge the problems that the gameplay loop could have, and we are working right now to actually improve the flow of the game, making it more uniform for everyone. Okay. Yes, that's all. Thank you.
All right. Congratulations to Dopp and My Tennis Apocalypse. Let's see how you fare in the finals next month. This has been a huge team effort, this whole PreBit, the most overblown PreBit probably ever. So let's give a roaring applause to our PreBit organizer, Laura Karppinen. Our programming teacher slash tech guy for pretty much all the tech running both the stream and the stage, Jaakko Väisänen. And all the students at AhlmanEdu who, well, not only made all those cool games that you saw in the intermission trailers, but also for editing some of those trailers and for helping us do this whole setup. So please clap. Even to yourself. It's been a huge effort. Yeah. Hopefully this will become a yearly tradition. We love doing this at AhlmanEdu. Some of this may have been Grandmastery in Tönkkö, but that's okay. This was our first time running the show. Hopefully you enjoyed yourself in the audience or back at home watching this on a stream. Now we'll probably revert the stream back to our cool trailers and whatnot for a while and conclude the ceremony here at AhlmanEdu, which is still a pretty cool place to make games in. Thank you and good night.